Anti-whitism in entertainment. The entertainment media, popular fiction, stage, screen, and television abound with MPs. We're going to read some of them here. Heroes and villains. Villains are nearly always Westmen. If there are non-white villains, they have a sympathetic backstory, are forced by circumstances caused by Westmen into a life of crime, and or they are working for the true villain who is a Westman. The heroes, crucial to the triumph of good over the white villain, are portrayed by a multiracial cast. Now, of course, this does not mean that white people, non-white people cannot be heroes. They definitely are heroes, non-white heroes. What it does mean is that this is fiction, and this is what is given to us as the portrayal of reality. Anti-whites very cognizant of the fact that of the psychological warfare they're practicing against us. They know that the subconscious mind is seeing the fiction as reality and digests it as reality, and then we end up living our lives primarily by the subconscious mind. So what do you end up seeing and thinking? You end up seeing and thinking that if there are a group of, and you see this most saliently in conservatives and Republicans, if there are a group of people that are all white, they must be wrong. They must be evil. Whatever they're asking for or doing must be somehow underhanded. Some sort of skullduggery is afoot. On the other end of the spectrum, a group that is composed primarily of non-white people, they must be right. They must be wanting to do good. They must be the good guys. Heroes and villains. We learn that whites are inherently villainous in entertainment, and non-whites are inherently virtuous. Whites can only be good when siding with non-whites against other whites. Westmen need non-white support to make them whole, valuable, and correct. Non-whites are cast in the roles of intellectually superior characters: the genius, scientist, professor, judge, president, even God. And I've shared before, much to my chagrin, it's terrible for me being a white man. When I think of a judge, the image of a black person always comes up. Because of fiction. Black people, they should be seeing black people as judges. White people should be seeing white people as judges. You cannot have, let me rephrase. This is the inherent impracticability of a multiracial environment. You don't want to teach black kids that judges and doctors are only white, and you don't want to teach white kids that judges and doctors are black. They're only black. For me, to a degree, when I think the word doctor, it is largely the image that comes up is not as a non-white person, but it's a little bit diluted. It's not like the judge category. The judge, in my mind, as a consequence of the fiction that I was subjected to, tormented with, it's always a non-white. Westmen should look to non-whites for solutions. Because this is what happens in the entertainment. In fact, non-whites are so perfectly competent that white disagreement is likely driven by prejudice rather than objective analysis. Westmen are submissive and surrender authority to non-whites because non-whites have the answers and know how to lead. Back for a minute to the talking about the Republicans and the conservatives and the like, and seeing a white group of people as inherently evil or wrong, and a predominantly non-white group as inherently correct and moral. You will find all of these white people suffering from anti-whitism by the evidence, one of the pieces of the numerous pieces of evidence, that they demand that more non-white people are pictured and in the front and on the stage and speakers, because they believe, as a consequence of what they've been infected with, that if we're all white, we're wrong. If we're all white, we're immoral. Now, then those are your average ones. The ones who are smart are the ones who say we have to have non-whites out front because that makes us legitimate, since people holding views is illegitimate, not as powerful as non-white people holding views. Now, I say they are the smart ones because ultimately they are wrong as well. Not just ultimately, they're immediately wrong as well, because they don't understand that there's an anti-white narrative, that it's not what's good for the non-white person, and the non-white makes it legitimate because he or she holds the opinion. No, it's only a legitimate opinion and right when it victimizes white people. So a non-white person on the stage at a conservative Republican gathering saying, we need to secure free speech for everyone, all those people who we disagree with, we need to have that speech. No, they're going to be called a white supremacist as well. They're going to be denounced by anti-whites as well, because they would be inhibiting the ability of an anti-white to victimize Western kind. And then all of these Republican and conservatives, the average ones, the milquetoast ones, and the smart ones, will all walk away scratching their head and saying the dumbest lines ever. How can they be racist if they're black? And then the very next minute try to say, well, the dictionary definition of racist is that anybody can be racist. Well, which is it, dipshit? Is it that the black guy who's speaking up with the conservative values can't be racist because he's black? Or is it the dictionary definition means that anybody can be racist, and so Democrats are the real racists? God, they're stupid. But you don't have to be dumb. You can step away from that. Please do. Inherently in your life, you're very smart. You probably do a lot of things a lot better than me in some areas, certainly not the horizontal areas. But you probably do a lot of things great. But here, you're just not getting it. And it's because you've been misled by Republican leaders, conservative leaders, patriot leaders, etc., nationalist leaders, constitutionalist leaders, libertarian leaders. You've been misled. So come over here, go free. If you like it, everything is going to go better for you in your life. That's just a reality. Of course, you should check with CNN. Not CNN Plus, though, because it is going the way of the dodo bird in a month, and I'm tore up because of it.